a second resort at Clacton-on-Sea. But life in Britain was not to be one big holiday. This recently discovered film shows visitors to the Clacton camp in 1939.
Every time I see this film, there's young men and young women just enjoying their holiday in glorious Technicolor. I get a lump in my throat because you know what's coming next. You know the story. You know that we're going to be at war any minute. A lot of those young lads and young ladies would never probably come back.
Seaside holidays would be over for the duration, but Billy Butlin soon found new customers to fill his chalets.
When Billy Butlin started building his holiday camp in 1936, he couldn't have conceived that a world war would start and the government would be begging for places to accommodate soldiers, sailors and members of the Air Force. And that's what his camps were used for.
Butlin's Skegness became HMS Royal Arthur, where disc jockey and presenter David Jacobs was one of thousands of young sailors to be called up.
I thought it was lovely. Is this the Navy? How marvellous. Single bed one side, single bed the other. It was fairly sparse, but the bed was lovely. It was a thick mattress. Well, of course, I didn't keep that mattress very long, because the next day we were paraded outside and given our kit, our uniforms and our thin, hard mattress, which rolled up to go inside your hammock, if ever you could manage to get into a hammock. I have to tell you now, I never did, for some reason or other. Never managed it. So I think I probably slept on the floor.
Billy Butlin would find that the war would have its advantages for his fledgling business. The government not only rented his 2 existing sites, they also paid to build 3 more camps at Filey, Ayr and Pwllheli. Prince Philip was one of the troops stationed at Pwllheli as a young sailor during the war. In 1963, Billy Butlin welcomed the prince back to the camp when he returned with his wife, Queen Elizabeth, on a royal visit.
Billy Butlin said to him, "Tell me, Prince Philip, what was your chalet number when you were here with us during the war?" And Prince Philip is reputed to have said, "I'm not going to tell you that, Billy, because if I did, you'd charge an extra few pounds for the campers to stay in that chalet."
At the end of the war, Billy Butlin bought back the new camps from the government at a fraction of what they'd cost to build. Butlins at Filey on the Yorkshire coast opened to holidaymakers for the first time just 6 weeks after the victory parades. Sylvia Collins from Hull visited Filey with her family as a 16-year-old in 1945.
This was something so new and so nice for people who had gone through the war, and it was pretty horrendous at times. During the day we went swimming, cycling, roller skating, beauty contests, which was always very popular with the men. Any entertainment that there was, they just all wanted to be there on it.
But for the teenage Sylvia, the highlight was undoubtedly the Viennese ballroom.
I'd never been in a ballroom before, and it was magic. I always remember it by the smell, you know, it must have been the polish. I don't know what they polished the floors with, but it was absolutely beautiful. I think it was so lovely to hear a big orchestra. Everybody just enjoying themselves. They came home from the war and all the families, they just wanted family holidays, and I think that's where Billy Butlin hit the nail on the head.
As the country got back on its feet after the war, more and more families started to be able to afford an annual break at the seaside. Many people headed to the booming holiday camps during the regular summer shutdowns of Britain's big industrial towns. Oldham lad Roger Billington first visited Butlins as a 7-year-old in the early 50s.
Oldham Wakes was the